As this is somewhat of a hobby of mine, I have a passion for speaking about my profession with an Elite Dangerous. Other than my musings of the topic of Raxler, the Dark Wheel and other mysterious subjects. I've been playing this game now on and off since 2016, having ventured to many of our galaxy's secluded wonders. With Elite Dangerous, there is no other way for me to play this game, with the other professions not really appealing to me. In this video, I will be going through the basics of exploration. I will give you tips of the trade on how to make some serious credits with exploration, and I will be showing you some useful upgrades that you will need if you have the desire to find your fortune making maps for our galactic community. As of making this video, my choice of exploration craft is the Crate Phantom. This was the vessel that earned me the majority of my wealth within the game, and a vessel that holds a special place in my heart. No doubt there will be those of you that regard the Anaconda or Zorgan Peterson's new Mandalay models as superior vessels. This is not false, it's just no other ship does it quite like she does for me. The thing is, with this game, you can customize almost any ship into the role you desire it to be used for. Explorers usually start their exploration careers in the Cobra series, the Diamond Black series, or the Asp series. As mentioned before, you can use whatever ship you want to explore, but these ships are better than most due to their adaptability and their weight. For this exercise, I will be choosing the Cobra series of vessels. They are a perfect starter ship for those of you who want to be explorers. Adding credence to this statement is their excellent starting price and their modular construction that allows room for all the modules you are going to need for your starter's experience. Firstly, you're going to need a location that sells a wide range of modules, and the ship itself, of course. Other than Jameson Memorial, located in the Shinrata Desra system, I find that Powell Terminal, located in the Athena system, is less perfect, but still good for this task. Before we go through the configuration of your vessel, a quick word on how modules work. You will notice that each module is classified with a number and a letter. The number is the size of the module, or class as it's called, and the letter is the quality of that system, denoted with a letter A through to G. There are many trade-offs to consider when outfitting any of your vessels, but what is usually best for starter exploration ships' core modules is the D quality of module. The size is negotiable depending on what ship you will use, but I'm going to assume you're using the Cobra Mach 3. This vessel takes a Class 4 power plant. Although you can equip smaller modules, the Class 4D is perfect. The D quality on any module is the lightest unengineered module that you can buy. First of all, purchase the Cobra. Once you have purchased this vessel, equip this vessel as your current ship, meaning get in the ship. Locate the outfitting option found within the Starport Services tab in front. Next, familiarise yourself with the different options here. Look at the first slot named Hardpoints. These are where your weapons are going to go. We are not going to require a comprehensive weapons package as we are flying exploration. You will find that when you fly exploration ships, running is smart. Many pilots out there have spent years fine-tuning their vessels for combat and have an expensive buyback insurance policy. Staying away from combat is going to be a requirement if you want to make money when you fly back into the bubble with that sweet exploration data. One weapon that you will need is a basic laser. This will be used later on in the video. Select the small hardpoint at the bottom, select the Class 1 Grade G burst laser. This is going to be your scalpel. I will explain this later. Next, select the Utility Mounts tab to the left. You're going to need a frameshift weight drive scanner. These are used to collect data on the frameshift drives of other vessels, usually data that you will need for engineering your vessel's systems to make the ship lighter, jump longer, and generally a better ship. The more you spend on this option, the more effective that module is going to do its job, but the more power that this module will drag from your power plant. For a starter ship, I will suggest purchasing the Class 0 Grade D frameshift weight drive scanner. This will be great for our starter ship. The next tab that you are going to want to take a look at is the core internal tab to the left. An effective core internal configuration makes average ships great ships. Breaking this section down, I will go through each core internal. Firstly, you have the alloy section. This is what you want your ship to be made of, from lightweight alloys to hardened military composites. What you will use this ship for dictates this option, and as we are going for an exploration ship, we are going to need your vessel to be lightweight. This increases your FSD range, but at the cost of its durability. The next section is the power plant. This is exactly what it says on the tin. It is your vessel's method of powering itself. The higher the grade of power plant, the better this system will be at powering your vessels. Again, we want light, as this will increase the jump range. Please select the size 4 Class D power plant. Next, you have the ship's thrusters, how the ship gets around when it's not punching holes through real space or when the supercruise is not engaged. Again, we are going for the Class 4 D option. Weight is key here, if you have not already noticed. Next up, we have the frameshift drive. This is how you're getting from one star to the next. It allows your ship to travel light years within seconds, and without this module, you're not going anywhere but the systems you're in. This is where you can invest a bit of the budget, as your jump range will make tedious journeys shorter, increasing your monetary yield. With the frameshift drive, we now have two options, the standard frameshift drive or the new SCO drive arrays. SCO or Supercruise overcharged drives make your ship go faster in Supercruise and are beneficial for those that wish to travel long distances within Supercruise. This benefit comes at the slight cost of your jump range. But as you will notice throughout the cosmos, many points of interest beyond the bubble are located within binary systems or within locations that have a long time to fly to when you engage your sublight engines. With this option, I'm going to go for the Class 4A SEO frameshift drive. This basically will make my ship jump farther and travel quicker within Supercruise. If you want a cheaper option, try experimenting with the different options to get optimal ranges for your budget. Next up, we're looking at the life support systems. Go for the Class 3D for its lightweight construction. This device will provide more than enough oxygen for your journey. Moving on, we have the power distributor. This governs the direction of your power, diverting power to weapons, engines or shields upon request. The better the module, the more power the ship can divert to these systems. Again, we want light, so purchase the Class 3D option. Next up, your sensors. This device detects vessels within a star system. The better the module, the longer the range of these sensors. We are only going to require the Class 4D version. The last option will be your fuel tank. This governs how many jumps you can make before it needs to refuel, either by docking and buying fuel or by using the star of each system, and not all stars, but I'll go into this later. I personally like to have a ship with a little excess gas in the tank, just in case. For that reason, I'm going to select the Class 4C option. If you scroll down to the next tab labelled Optional Internals, you will find a series of slots that will be filled with the default loadout of your Cobra. In this section of the outfitting, you can change your vessel with modules that will better fit your chosen profession. Exploration ships, without a doubt, need two things: the detailed surface scanner used to map planets and systems. Without this, you're not scanning systems or planets, and you ain't getting money. So you're going to want to buy the module that costs $250,000 credits. The other bare essential is the Planetary Approach Suite. If you have the Odyssey expansion, you will have the advanced version of this device available to you. The divergence between the two is that the basic one lets you land on planets without atmospheres. The advanced one lets you do this as well as land on planets with atmospherics, such as icy moons or desert planets. Next up on the importance list will be your capacity to hold items, cargo holds. Again, you will see many options. You only want a basic capacity here. Equip the Class 2E cargo hold in the slot size that matches the class. It is important to add at this point that the class of each module need to fit into the right slot. For instance, if you only want a Class 2 module in something, make sure you have it in a Class 2 slot, shown as Class 2 underneath. You can fit smaller modules in larger class slots, but only do this if you have no other use for that slot. Next up, scroll to the top and find the slot at the top of your screen. You will need an AFMU or Auto Field Maintenance Unit in this slot. This is going to fix your ship's systems such as your fuel scoop or your frameshift drive. Without it, over time your ship will deteriorate and you will be finding yourself on the phone to the fuel rat pleading for help. Some pilots often fly with two of these modules, as one will fix the other, but for the purposes of this tutorial you're only going to need one. Go ahead and select the Class 3D variants. At the slot below, this is where you're going to place your fuel scoop. This refuels your vessel without a station or facility. Without it, you'll eventually run out of fuel and you will be left stranded in space. We will be choosing the Class 3A fuel scoop, as this version provides the quickest refuel times unengineered. If your budget will not allow this, try the B or C variant. Next up, and below the fuel scoop, is the shield generator. This one is optional, but your ship has already been made weaker with its lightweight hull. Having an extra barrier of protection will prove valuable. You will be using it for collision protection, not combat, so please bear this in mind. Go ahead and equip the Class 3D shield generator. Below this, you're going to be putting an additional fuel tank. This will enable your ship to jump for longer distance before the vessel requires refueling. Basically, this one is optional, but I use them as it makes my life easier, not needing to refuel as much. The better the version, the more fuel it holds, as well as other benefits. For this one, you're going to take the Class 2C variant. It won't hold a huge amount of fuel, but it will make things a little easier when you're out in the black. Last of all, you're going to need a planetary vehicle hangar. This module will allow you to equip surface vehicles such as the Scorpion SRV or the Scarab SRV. Again, not essential, but it's useful when you land on planets and you want to explore a bit. There is additional money to be made with xenobiology, and you will need an SRV for this purpose. Install the Class 2E variant and make sure you also equip the SRV into its hangar. You do this by using the tab at the bottom, select it, select the planetary vehicle hangar and install a vehicle. The Scorpion is more suited for combat. It is equipped with advanced weapons and is more durable. As we are explorers, we are going to choose the Scarab. The Scarab SRV, although having lighter weapons and being less durable, has advanced scanner technology. These scanners can be used to find life forms for xeno data, points of interest, or mineral deposits containing rare elements. The Galaxy map is one of the most intuitive map systems of any game. It will show you where you are and where you want to go. It is a like-for-like representation of our galaxy, containing over 400 billion stars. In regards to exploration, there are a few tips that you will need to know before you move on. First of all, at the left hand side you will see one set of options, and on the right another set of options. Go ahead and play with them. First up, let's take a look at the Pilots Federation tab, the fifth one down on the left. Want to open, select the Star Class tab, which is the bottom option. With this tab, you can filter out undesirable stars. Stars which we know are less likely to contain valuable mapping data and Earth-like worlds, ammonia-based worlds and water worlds. These planet types are going to be what you will be looking for in order to make hundreds of millions of credits. I choose to filter out the K, M, L, T and Y class of stars. These star types have less chances of containing valuable planets. It is worth noting that although it is less likely that you will find valuable things at those types of stars, it does not mean that you won't find them at those locations. The choice is yours really. Before moving on, select the Apply Filter Route option at the bottom of this section. Next up will be the Route Setting tab, which is the third from bottom option on the left. This tab governs how your route planner selects the stars it does, whether that being for economical routes or fastest routes. We want our route planner to plot the fastest route to each location. We also want it to use jet cone boost. I'll come to that later. Select the fastest route option and tick the Use Jet Cone Boost option. Now we are going to want somewhere to go. In order to get some money from the ship, at the centre top of the screen you will notice a search bar. Type the following location into it on screen now. The location is also linked below in the description of this video. You can use the copy paste tool to input it into your game. Simply press Ctrl and C on this location and then go into your game and then press Ctrl V in the search bar. This location will make you plenty of money if you scan each system you drop into. Go ahead and hit enter when you have the location copied into the search bar and allow your ship to plot a route to that location. You will now notice that there is an orange line that has been drawn from your current location and to the desired location. The route planner has plotted a route for your vessel, and it will ignore all of the stars that you have told it to ignore in the Star Classes tab. Like I have mentioned before, filtering out stars is useful if you want to get a quick start on the exploration ladder, but you will miss potential locations by using these filter settings. Look at the star I've given you the address of. The star is on the filter list, and although your ship will take you to a location that is filtered out, if it is the endpoint, you will miss these types of locations when you go further out unguided. It is worth bearing this in mind. In the end, it's all about finding what works for you. Grouping is an important factor of any interstellar journey. It governs how your weapons or devices deploy and in what order, allowing you to quick cycle through groups in order to equip them. Copy the layout of my vessel on screen. You will also need to know how to refuel your vessel without plugging it into the local station for a refuel. You're going to be using stars themselves. Most, if not all, stellar bodies emit waste gases that your fuel scoop can utilise and convert into raw fuel for your ships. The route planner will automatically plot you through areas of space that have stars that can be used for this purpose. When you first drop out of witch base and you see the new system star, slow your vessel and orbit the star until your fuel tanks have been replenished. It is important not to venture too close to the star or your supercruise drive will fail and you will end up with a lengthy recharge before it can be reactivated and a small amount of damage. This damage over time can accumulate. Try flying with orbit lines switched on. This option is located on your right hand screen in the ship tab. The orbit line will show you the safe approach limit for any star or any planet. Although your ship does not have the ability to repair your hull, your AFMU or Auto Field Maintenance Unit will repair the ship's modules. Over time, on long journeys, your modules will deteriorate, either by general wear and tear of extended use or by any damage you have taken on your journey. Jumping too close to stars or planets, hitting objects, or using neutron stars will damage your modules, and over time, this damage can add up, resulting in damage that will shut these modules down. You access your AFMU on your right hand screen in the Modules tab. In order to use your ship's AFMU, select the Damage module, bring it offline and hit the Repair button. Your AFMU will now slowly repair your damaged module. The better or larger the AFMU, the quicker this will be done and the more charge that the AFMU will have. Over extended use, this module will run out of charge and you will have to find elemental deposits on landable planets to use for its recharge. In order to refuel the AFMU, select the Inventory tab on the right hand side and look for the AFMU recharge. It will tell you how much of each element you will need in order for you to recharge it. Like I mentioned before, you will find these elements on the surface of planets by using your SRV to find meteorites or rocky outcrops. Breaking these deposits with your SRV's weapons and scooping them up with the cargo hold open will ensure that they go into your inventory, a separate cargo space for smaller objects. The Fuel Rats are a group of interstellar search and rescue pilots. Their job is to rescue stranded pilots that have run out of fuel or have received damage and are unable to leave a system. Using their website will allow you, should you need it, to be located by the Fuel Rats. They will send out a pilot who will navigate to your location and repair your vessel or refuel, or both. A link to their website is below. For this maiden journey, I have plotted your vessel to a well-known Guardian site outside of the bubble, but at a sufficient distance for you to be easily rescued by the Fuel Rat service quickly if something goes wrong. The total amount of jumps that I will be initiating will be 37 jumps, starting from the Lushertha system, and although you might find this journey somewhat long, the more you explore in the game, the less of a distance this will seem like. For me, this is an average short distance exploration. Going out that far in any direction will net you first discovery claims, first landing claims and first footfall claims. These claims have your name literally written into the game forever, as well as you receiving a hefty monetary bonus. The FSS scanner is a device that allows you to scan each system that you encounter. Before you activate this device, check if it is bound in your keyboard layout on the control section of the options menu. Once checked, press the scan button. This will turn the device on and you will notice that you are confronted with a different screen. This is the FSS scanner. This is how you're going to make most of your money, scanning the planetary bodies that you encounter. You may think that scanning worlds that have already been discovered is useless. Not the case. Even if a star system has been found, has been colonized, or even if it's a core system, you will get the money for scanning it. The only rules are that you sell to a station that has universal cartographics, you sell that data at least 20 light years away, and you have survived with your data in your ship. If you crash, you will lose all of the system data that you have scanned, and you will be presented with the buyback screen upon death. I've bound my activation button to my app symbol on my keyboard. One other key that is important is the discovery scan button, or system honk if you will. I've bound this to my B button. Find a button layout that works for you. So press the FSS mode button once. Now hold down the discovery scan button until it makes a honk sound. You will now be able to scan the system with all of the planets, asteroids, or points of interest that are located within the system. Your game is to scan each planet until you have scanned all the planets that are circling the star. High metal content worlds, metal rich worlds, Earth-like worlds, ammonia-based worlds, or water worlds are the planets that are going to make you money. You're also going to be looking for worlds that contain geological locations or biological locations, for which information is displayed on each world, top right. Next up, you're going to need to get close to each planet if you want a bonus for surface scanning the planet. Target the planet using your system map to the left of your main screen. The surface scanner will allow you to take a closer look at each world, and it will allow you to pinpoint the location of any points of interest. Once you close in on a planet, the surface scanner should be available to the right of your HUD. Try selecting the different fire groups until you see the surface scanner to the right if you don't see this option. Now when close enough, and if your ship is flying at a sufficiently slow speed and with analysis mode activated, you'll be able to press the fire button and you will be presented with a target reticule. The surface scanner fires probes to the surface that will map a radius of each segment of the planet. You're going to need to aim at the centre of the planet and fire off one probe. When landed, you will notice that it makes a blue circle on the planet. This is the probe's scanning range. The aim of this is to provide 100% scanning completion within the target amount of probes, which is displayed to the right. Your ship will scan up to 90% and will auto-complete the rest, so you're only going to need to scan 90% in actuality. When completed, and if there are biological or geological assets on that planet, you'll be presented with an option to display each type of signal and where they are located on that world. Discovering biological or geological assets for the first time is going to net you a lot of money, in particular xenobiological data. If you land on a planet that contains new life forms, and if you scan it, you're going to net up to 10 million credits per discovery. We will look further into this later. The neutron superhighway is a term given to when pilots use neutron stars to increase the range of their jumps. Often, pilots will jump neutron star to neutron star, massively increasing their jump ranges. This is not without a cost though. A neutron star, if close enough, will wreak havoc with your ship's systems, eventually destroying your vessel, and you will not be able to escape. If approached slowly, a neutron star can safely be encountered and exploited. Point your ship to the tip of the neutron star, the very edge of its blue glow. Slowly bring your vessel in until it begins to buffet from the turbulence of the neutron star. Don't be alarmed, this is normal. Once the turbulence begins, slow the ship down to its minimum speed. Shortly after, you'll be presented with a message stating that your frameshift drive has been supercharged. This will allow you to make the next jump on your journey, if your route planner has plotted your course using neutron stars. A word of caution when doing this: operating your vessel using this method will take its toll on your ship's modules. If you do this multiple times, your modules will deteriorate to the point where they cease to function. This is one of the reasons why having an AFMU is so crucial. First footfall is a term given to pilots who land on a planet for the first time. If you land on a planet that has never been landed on before and sell your data to Universal Cartographics, you will receive a credit bonus and your name will forever be placed on that planet. Many planets out in the cosmos have been mapped but not landed upon, and there is serious wealth to be made getting these first footfalls. Many pilots, as they get more experience, will discard worlds that are not worth taking a closer look with the surface scanner. They will simply honk the system, find all of the planets in the FSS, and move on to the next system. There is ample opportunities to make a lot of money scanning these planets with a surface scanner as well, particularly those worlds that contain biological signs or geological features. As the game was updated to Odyssey and the features of Odyssey were added to the galaxy, some of the worlds that had previously been scanned were updated with atmospheres. This left any biological data untouched, and as such, there are many worlds out there that have been scanned with an FSS, even scanned with a surface scanner, yet do not have first footfall credits taken. You're looking for worlds that contain more than one biological scan. As you scan the system with an FSS, take note of any biological signals or geological signals that exist upon worlds with atmospheres or without. Next, locate them on the system map to the left of your screen. Now find those planets on this map and mark them for navigation. As you approach the planet, activate your surface scanner and scan to 90%. As mentioned before, you will notice that you can now cycle through the different types of life forms, and it will show you where they are on the surface, highlighting those areas in blue or particular concentrations in green. Navigate your vessel to the surface of the planet, the location you could see where the life forms were. Take note of the gravity reading of each world to the mid-right of your HUD. You're going to need to be careful landing on larger planets, as the gravity of that planet will suck you down quicker than the surface of a smaller planet. Once within the required height, your ship will glide through the atmosphere, and once it punches through, your vessel will activate its sublight drives and you'll begin to fly above the surface of that world. Find yourself a nice flat spot and slow down until your ship turns blue on your HUD. Now bring the ship to a halt and slowly touch down on the surface. You can now safely disembark from your ship in either the SRV you brought with you or on foot. Your objective is to find a biological signal. Find your first life forms using the tools at your disposal. Firstly, make use of the SRV that is on board your vessel. This vehicle will make complete scans easier. Use your genetic sampler to obtain the samples, and you're going to need 3 distinct samples from the same race in order to gather a comprehensive scan of that life form. Only when you have 3 unique scans of the same life form will your genetic sampler spit out its storage unit and you can scan a new type of life form. If you're having trouble finding a new scan and you're not finding unique members of that race, try driving a little distance until you find more of what you're looking for. The Scarab SRV has an inbuilt artifact detection suite. This makes it the SRV of choice for the explorer. The SRV scanner is located to the centre of the screen, portrayed with a series of lines that change as you move the SRV around the surface of the planet. To the top of the scanner are readings that are either biological or man or non-man made. Basically anything that breathes, swims, spits or swears, or something that has been built by such life forms. You can find life forms, Fargoid artifacts and sites, human crashed ships, the ejected cargo holds of pirated vessels, the list goes on. The bottom reading on the SRV scanner is geological data, and at those locations you may find crashed meteorites, rocks that can be broken, cryomagma vents, etc. You can obtain the deposits that are around these locations by firing at them with your SRV. The geological sites are locations of value as they contain minerals you will need as you begin to upgrade your vessel via the engineering service or to refuel your AFMU. If you get into trouble with your SRV at a pinch, the Scarab series will provide basic close protection fire using its dual-linked plasma repeaters. It is also worth mentioning that your Scarab and the Scorpion have inbuilt thruster suites that provide limited lift generation, useful for jumping over holes in the ground or taking a vantage point in the sky so that you may look for objects of interest. Upon arriving at your destination, scan the system as usual, looking for objects on the surface of each planet. Scan any bodies you may find as unusual. looking for Guardian technological signifiers. Lock onto the object you have found and fly to its location. Once arriving, take note of the surface of the planet. You may notice that there are more than one Guardian site. These contain the data you will later need to make Guardian-based upgrades to your vessels. Explore these locations in great detail. There is genuine mystery to the events surrounding the Guardian race. Some people may speculate as unfinished. For a more in-depth dive into the Guardian's story, follow the link above. You could also consider completing Rantar's Guardian missions. Remember that laser that I asked you to install into your ship? There are many items that you can salvage at these locations using this laser. Simply lock onto each object and shoot until they fall off or break. Try to take some of the items that you find at these places, but beware, the Guardians were never really fond of grave robbers. As you return from your voyage, you will have grabbed a considerable amount of data on the way. The system scans, the surface scans, the bio and geological data, or more. You will now need to sell this data at a universal cartographer and at Vista Genomics for your lifeform data. You can access the universal cartographer while still in your cockpit, but in order to sell your biological data, you will need to get out, enter the lift, and look for Vista Genomics, which is always located on the top floor to the right of the room. Now, sell your data. Get your name on the systems you first encountered, your first footfalls, and your first biological discoveries. You may not have a massive amount on your first run, but consider your experience as a reward itself. You have completed your exploration qualification, and you can go out into the cosmos in the knowledge that what you have learned will serve as a foundation for your future career within Universal Cartographics and with our friends at Vista. Now go get yourself a bigger ship, plot a course farther afield, and make your fortunes dancing among the stars. This video was sponsored by Falcon de Lacy. Thanks for the watch. I would like to thank the new members of the channel, Captain Rob Frost and Minecrafting Mew. If you like the video, please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It has been known that subscribing to these videos can soothe mild cases of fungal nail infections, and that liking the video can reduce halitosis by up to 4%. I have a members video as well if that's your thing, and donation options via Coffee or Super Thanks. Until next time, Commander 07.